What is up, YouTube? Chase Oliver 68 here. This ain't anything wrestling related. This is actually MMA related. Strikeforce Dallas. It was live on pay-per-view if you order it, or live on Showtime, which is either or. I have Showtime, so I didn't have to buy the pay-per-view. I actually watched it on Showtime. The main event of the card was Werdum and Overeem. So I'm gonna go by basically the main card of what I watched and give my prediction on the fight and what's next for certain fighters. Do note that I'm not really that big on the strike. I know certain Strikeforce fighters, some pop in my head, but if I don't know the fighter, I have to look at my computer screen to remember the names. The first fight on the card was Valentine Overeem, the older brother of Overeem, versus Chad Griggs. Valentine Overeem, he really can't catch a break. He always seems to never really surprise anyone. He had a pretty decent 2010. I don't know why the announcers thought it was stellar. He beat nobody. But Chad Griggs is an upcoming heavyweight in Strikeforce, and Valentine Overeem, he just couldn't deliver. Chad Griggs basically won the fight TKO, I believe, in the second round. I think it was the second round. No, actually it was in the first round. I must have not been paying attention that well, but that is my bad. Chad Griggs, though, I really like what he looked like with the striking department. Kid has potential. He's 11-1, like I said, in his MMA career. Sure, he has not beaten anyone big named. I believe this is his biggest win of his career. But he really did well, I believe, in the fight. He looked great on the striking, and he obviously didn't want that takedown to happen at all. So, congratulations to you, Chad Griggs. You look great. Valentine Overeem, hang it up, you're done. Next. Well, the next fight we have Daniel Cormier versus Jeff Monson. And Daniel Cormier, he looked great this fight. Jeff Monson really couldn't get anything going. Daniel Cormier picked up his striking. He decided, hey, I need to learn my striking. I got my wrestling down. I need to learn how to strike. And that's what he did. And he absolutely dominated Jeff Monson in the striking. Jeff Monson, every time he got hit, he was like, oh crap, oh crap. Like he was hurt every time. Daniel Cormier was striking. But Jeff Monson said after this fight, no matter what, he was going to move down to 205. Hopefully that's a good career move for him. He's a veteran in the sport. I don't really see him doing well either at the 205 or heavyweight division. But it is what it is. Daniel Cormier, congratulations on that big win, I guess you can call it. You looked very good in the ring with your striking. You looked very good stopping the takedowns. And I'm glad you won the fight via decision. Next fight on the card. Lightweight contender status here. The winner will fight the lightweight champion Gilbert Melendez, and the fighters were KJ Nunes, the boxer, the promoter of boxer and MMA. I don't know what Strikeforce calls him. They call him some random bullshit that he's like the greatest boxer, and I don't even know. Strikeforce is just weird. Versus, I always forget his name. Sorry, Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal, if you guys don't know, he has some street fights. He's kind of like Kimbo Slice with a little bit of attitude, but not really. But he actually learned MMA, unlike Kimbo. Kimbo thought he was all badass. Jorge Masvidal actually went to camps and learned takedowns and all this other stuff, so his wrestling is pretty good. Jorge Masvidal, he put on a show, basically. KJ Nunes, he's a one-trick pony. He has no mixed. He has no martial. He has no arts. He is only a boxer. And he fights like a boxer. His ground game consists of trying to escape. He doesn't know what ground and pound is. You can obviously tell when he had that one point where he had freaking, I always forget his last name, Masvidal. You say your name 4 times and you remember it. When he had Masvidal on the ground, KJ didn't know what he was doing. He was like, this is a... KJ Nunes, you gotta really, if you want to make a career here in the MMA, yes, I know you got a big win over Nick Diaz, but that was when Nick Diaz was a punk-ass bitch. Not saying he isn't now, but Nick Diaz has matured over the years in MMA, in my opinion, than what he was in the past. But just because you got that big win over Nick Diaz, KJ Nunes, you gotta learn that wrestling is a big part of mixed martial arts, and you gotta learn what a ground game is if you want to go against big top fighters. Now, this Jorge Masvidal character, I've seen him before. I liked what he's done. But dude, you cannot come out thinking you're going to be that good against El Nino, Gilbert Melendez. You acted like you were all bad just because you're putting on a clinic against KJ Noons just because you gave KJ Noons a bad old hematoma. Nah, dog, you can't freaking do this. Like, what is that? Are you trying to, like, say you're eating out the air? Dude, you can't act all cocky in the third round. I know you're winning the fight, but KJ Noons had a chance to finish you, but he just didn't know what ground and pound was. And the fact that you are acting like you were some tough shit just because you beat KJ Noons in a martial arts match, Gilbert Melendez is a 10 times better fighter than KJ Noons. I wouldn't be doing this in front of Gilbert Melendez's face, because from the camp where Gilbert comes from, they're full of dickheads. Diaz brothers, I want to count Jake Shields as a dickhead, but you get what I'm coming at. You just say the Diaz brothers, and you know who we're talking about. So, I don't know why you're acting all bad in the cage. When you're the champion, you do that. I guess it's okay, but don't act bad in the cage when you won the fight, when you're winning the fight, and you could easily lose a fight like that. But nonetheless, he put on an impressive showing, hit really good takedowns, nice punching, very good momentum for this Masvidal, the Jorge Masvidal character. Do I think he'll beat Gilbert though? That's a tough fight to call. I'm going with my man Gilbert Melendez though. Gilbert has been impressive as of late, and he looks like he's going to go to the UFC anyways if he beats this character. Next up, we got Josh Barnett making his MMA return. If you guys don't know Josh Barnett, he's also a professional wrestler. He wrestles up in Japan or some shit like that, I don't even know. Versus Brett the Grant Rogers, another one-trick pony. Brett Rogers' one-trick pony is this: I have big right hand, and I'm like Kimbo Slice, but I have no character. That's what Brett Rogers is. Brett Rogers is just like a Kimbo Slice with no character, in my opinion. Brett Rogers couldn't get the job done. He needs to realize, just like KJ Noons, I need to work on other things. I gotta go work at a better camp with sparring partners my size, because you're not getting it done with that camp. I'm sorry, Brett Rogers. I want to see you succeed. You look like a phenomenal athlete. You look at this dude, you think he could kick anyone's ass, but the fact of the matter is, when it comes to people who have better skill sets than him, he can't. And the dude has knockout power, that's for fucking sure. He could be a phenomenal athlete if he went to the right camp. He just needs to go find a camp that can fit his training regimen. I suggest Death Clutch. The reason being, there's a big old son of a bitch named Brock Lesnar down there. That's just my suggestion. But, yep, Josh Barnett basically controlled this, wrestled him, used his catch wrestling, won with the side choke, and then cut a wrestling promo at the end. Gus Johnson, he was all ready to ask some questions. Like, he just grabs the mic like this. He goes, "Yo, Gus, I know you got a job to do, but let me handle this." And he talked about, like, basically destroying the skulls or something like that. I don't know. Basically being king of the kings, I guess. But yeah, he cut a little wrestling promo on there. And who said there was no professional wrestling allowed in MMA? Next up, we get the main event of the evening. The highlight, Alistair Overeem versus Fabricio Werdum. This should be a good fight. I guess you could call it a good fight. This is more of a smart man's fight, if you get what I'm saying. Which means it won't entertain most of the demographic, but it'll entertain that little graphic of MMA fans, that little tiny little piece on the pie chart. Like, if you ask for a piece of pie, you're only going to get this small of a piece. Like, you know, a woman's on a diet and they ask for a piece of pie, they only ask for this small of a piece. That's how small of a graphic would actually enjoy this matchup. This matchup basically consisted of Fabricio Werdum. If you guys don't know his background is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He wants Alistair Overeem to go in his guard. But Alistair Overeem, he's like, you think I'm stupid? I ain't going into your guard. Going into your guard basically means I lose the fight. I'm not stupid, dude. And so Fabricio Werdum was doing a la Talis Lactus and all the other great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters, but in a bad way. Just, hey, come on, come here, come in my guard. I'll just hook you with the triangle. Please come in, please. Whatever. Werdum, I don't understand why you didn't want to stick into striking. People are going to be like, whoa, Alistair Overeem's a better striker. If you guys watch the fight, Alistair Overeem was not setting up his strikes at all. Alistair Overeem was, he was going for the knockout. He wanted that knockout. He was using power strikes all night. He wasn't setting up, and if you guys watch Fabricio Werdum, he outstruck Alistair. That's right, he outstruck Alistair Overeem and Overeem was flinching the whole time every time he got hit. Dang, Alistair Overeem, you looked really bad this fight. Fabricio Werdum, why didn't you just stick to striking? You were realizing that you were doing good in striking. You know that getting caught by one big knee didn't mean anything to you. Why not keep up the striking and win the fight by striking, but instead you decide to play, come here, yeah, I'm a good fighter, come here, I want to submit you, I want to get the triangle in. I know that's your game plan, I know that's your strong part, but Werdum, you gotta admit, if you're beating him into striking, why even think about that? But anyways, Strikeforce, normally they deliver on these cards. Normally they do. And the only entertaining fight of the night was that KJ Nunes versus that character, Jorge Masvidal. That's about it. There wasn't really any other fights that popped into my head as very, very good. You could say the Monson fight was pretty good. It was cool to see Josh Barnett, control that whole fight, but at the same time it was just more of Josh Barnett showing off his skills against a lesser experienced fighter. And then the main event, like I said, it's a smartsman's fight. That little teeny piece of pie is only going to like it. It's not for everyone. I personally thought the fight was interesting when they were standing up. I thought there was some good stuff going on there. But when Fabricio Werdum decided, come on, Alistair, come down. He's not going to come down for you. Why do you keep on trying? And if you realize that you're doing on the striking, why do you even strike? And Alistair, or Fabricio, the winner, I would think Antonio will kill them. Antonio Silva looked impressive against Fedor, and not to mention, Antonio Silva looks impressive in general right now compared to what I've seen out these two. Heck, I have Silva probably winning the tournament next to the guy that Josh Barnett's facing, whose name escapes me right now. But anyways, if you guys want to check out Strikeforce, Overeem versus Werdum, Dallas, or Heavyweight Grand Prix, whatever Strikeforce calls this event, I suggest probably 2 fights on this card. Like I said, the KJ Nunes versus Jorge Masvidal, and Daniel Cormier versus Jeff Monson. If you want to see Valentine Overeem get his ass kicked, the big Overeem, go check out Chad Griggs. But that's about it. This is it for Chase Oliver 68, where Wrestling Matters here, brother. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Comment down below your thoughts on the fight and your thoughts on this whole Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix as a total. Like or dislike this video. Yeah, that's about it. Coming up close to the camera, I say